It's
Could you
time
hear
now.
me? Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nurlan Harzada, and I'm honored to be moderator for today's session. I represent the Azerbaijan Standardization Institute, where I serve as the head of the Division of Standardization in Service Areas. It's my great pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker for today's session, Mr. Emmanuel Escoto. Mr. Escoto is the manager of global cooperation at ASTM International. ASTM plays a vital role in the development of science-based international standards, supporting innovation and sustainability worldwide. Mr. Escoto has extensive experience in international cooperation and standardization, and his work contributes significantly to advancing sustainable mobility solutions. The primary objective of this session are to promote the transition to environmentally friendly vehicles through the use of international standards, and to emphasize the essential role of these standards in reducing the environmental impact of the transport sector. During this discussion, we will explore how international standards accelerate the adoption of green vehicles, including the standardization of emission and efficiency in electric and hybrid vehicles. We will address the importance of harmonizing regulations across countries to foster a global shift toward environmentally friendly transportation. Additionally, the session will highlight challenges in standardizing charging infrastructure for electric vehicles, the contribution of transport standards to reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and the implementation of safety and sustainability standards in public transport. By the end, we aim to showcase the significant impact of international standards on achieving global transportation sustainable goals. While coming to Azerbaijan, we can highlight several initiatives aimed at promoting eco-friendly transportation. Since 2014, the country has implemented Euro 4 ecological standards for vehicles, prohibiting the production and import of vehicles that do not meet these norms. Recently, the ASE 660-36 standard has been introduced, facilitating the way for the adoption of Euro 5 and higher standards. Efforts have also been directed at optimizing traffic flow to reduce emissions. For example, by improving average vehicle speeds, Azerbaijan is actively working to decrease CO2 emissions and enhance air quality. These measures align with the country's broader goals of modernizing the transport sector and adhering to the international environmental standards. Furthermore, to encourage the use of eco-friendly vehicles, various incentives have been introduced. Hybrid cars with smaller engine capacities and electric vehicles, along with their charging stations, are exempt from value-added tax. These initiatives demonstrate Azerbaijan's commitments to advancing green mobility and reducing the environmental impact of its transport sector. With these examples, it becomes clear that the transition to green mobility requires not only local initiatives, but also strong international cooperation and globally recognized standards. Organizations like ASTM International play a vital role in this process by developing science-based standards that support sustainability efforts worldwide. As we know, ASTM International has been actively engaged with the United Nations to align its work with the Sustainable Development Goals. Mr. Escoto, could you please clarify the mission and objective of ASM International that contributes to achieving these goals?
Absolutely. Well, thank you, first of all, for having us here today. It is a great honor for ASTM to be present, to be in this pavilion, and to work together as well with ASTM, one of our great partners in standardization. Thank you for having us here today. Well, I want to tell you the greatest story of one of the most recognized international standards development organizations, which is ASTM International. ASTM International's story starts more than 125 years ago, when we needed to save the life of people that were losing their life during the constructions of railroads. After that, we have been committed to solving and helping in the societal needs impacting our world advancing international standards to transform global markets. That's our mission, and we are very committed to the SDGs, as you mentioned, but we are also very committed to our members, first of all, because we have 33,000 members from around the world, from 150 countries. They come and develop our standards. They are business persons, science, technical people that come together, unite their efforts, and they are very worried about international issues that are happening, such as climate, right?
Yeah.
Therefore, ASTM International, it's very natural for us to work in these issues that are impacting our world, and also to help countries and nations and the organizations to achieve the SDGs. Another important part of our mission is that we work together with 126 partners around the world, such as Azerbaijan as well, and ASTM. And we cooperate with these organizations so that you can access to our standards for free. Yeah. You can access to training as well. And to, for example, if you have some needs to develop standards or your national standards, you can just send a request to us and we will be very happy to help. And this is something we do worldwide, as well as we work with more than 55 international organizations, including the United Nations, NATO, the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, USTDA, many other organizations that are also with a mission of impacting the world. So with this, I'm just telling you that we support the partnerships for the goals, which is the SDG number 17. Another SDG that I want to mention is that ASTM International is signatory of the UN Gender Declaration, which was done in 2019, where ASTM recognize or let the world know how much we care about gender equity, which is SDG 5. And also we include in our standards promotion of gender and content, so that males and females can feel also welcome and integrated, because this is something that ASTM does. We welcome everyone. We hear all the voices. If you have some ideas of new standards you want to develop, or you want to put your own contribution to solving some of the most pressing issues in the world, you can come to ASTM. We will welcome you. Your voice will be heard. Doesn't matter if you are here in Azerbaijan and we are far away, or if you are in Africa or Latin America, we welcome everyone. And it's not like you will have your own voice. They will share with you their experience with developing the standards or the specific topics that you want to address. And with this, we are also addressing inclusivity in ASTM standards. This is one of our strong areas, because you don't need to belong to something to have your voice heard. You just need to come to us, and we will follow with you. With this, I want to give you an example. I mentioned that we have 126 partners already. Our MOU partners have cited 9,500 standards of ASTM International. These give a global recognition to our standards, and we are impacting the world. For example, starting from one company that is very concerned about their production and they want to recycle water, for example, to another company that they want to test and demonstrate to the world that their textiles, for example, are very crucial or can be sold international. So we welcome all those companies and those interests and needs. And with this, you are proving, when you are applying ASTM standard, you are demonstrating the world how much efficiency your product, how much good and the quality of your product is. So that this is another contribution, because in the SDGs there need to be work, there need to be growth and development. So this is another things we do at ASTM International. With this example, I want to move to some of the activities we have. ASTM just in 2021 gained the consultative status at the United Nations ECOSOC, which is the Social and Economic Council. This gives us the opportunity to participate in different international forums and events. ASTM has participated in the International Conference of Water, in the Partnership Conference, and just recently in May, we attended in Antigua and Barbuda the Conference of the Small Island Developing States, because we are concerned also about these islands. You know how much impact they are receiving from climate, the changing climate that we have currently, and so we really want to approach and get closer to them so that we can let them know how many standards we have that can help them to adapt, to become more resilient, and to really transform their current reality or transform their problems into solution, because that is the power that the standards bring. You can have a problem right now, and we will make sure if the standard can come to one of our committees, we will make sure to transform that problem in one solution for you and for the world as well. Talking to you about more examples on what we do, we have developed a series of webinars on climate-related topics, climate and sustainability topics. We have partnered with many organizations. Recently, we joined during the New York City Climate Week. We joined the PREPARE, which is the President Emergency Plan for Adaptation and Resilience. We just joined them, and we, ASTM, put as a commitment or their call of action, we put that we will be updating and contributing with our standards. So we have that commitment that we will be fulfilling. And also, we are creating a database of more than 700 standards that can support the efforts on climate change. These 700 standards do not come only from ASTM International, they come from 65 other standard development organizations. Just to put you some perspective of the efforts that we have been doing, and I can continue giving you more examples if you want, I don't know.
Of course.
Okay, well, some of the other standards, something that really impacted our life and actually changed our reality was COVID-19. During COVID-19, ASTM partnered with the World Bank and some partners in Jordan, our partners actually in Jordan and in Vietnam. We developed trainings for them so that they could use ASTM standards on PPE and hand sanitizer. What we did is that we released for public usage those standards, so they were at the service of the community during those difficult times. And ASTM, let me tell you the following. We are not just reacting to problems. We are thinking ahead, planning on the future contributions that we will do, because this is something that we have been doing for more than 125 years, and I'm pretty sure we will last even longer than 100 years more. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Escoto. Thank you for such an insightful explanation of ASTM's engagement with the United Nations and the role of standards in supporting the sustainable development goals. Building on the discussion, it is essential to recognize how addressing environmental challenges and promoting sustainable development have become shared priorities across the globe. The need for eco-friendly and safe transportation is a prime example of these efforts. In Azerbaijan, we are actively contributing to this global role targeted initiatives. The 2024 roadmap for promoting the circulation of environmentally friendly and safe vehicles and improving infrastructure. It is a case step in this direction. The roadmap outlines measures to expand the use of eco-friendly vehicles, improve infrastructure, and accelerate progress through motivation initiatives. These efforts not only aim to ensure environmental safety, but also align the transport sector with modern requirements. To this end, the Azerbaijan Standardization Institute has approved national standards based on the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe's global technical regulations, especially regulations 83, 100, and 101. This regulation addresses critical aspects such as pollutant emissions, safety requirements for electric powertrains, and the measurement of fuel consumption, CO2 emission, and electric energy consumption. And also thank you for your attention to the important initiatives we have discussed so far. In addition to this effort, I would also like to highlight another key area contributing to sustainable mobility, cycling infrastructure. As a part of the 2019-2023 state program on road traffic safety, significant progress has been made in Azerbaijan to enhance bicycle infrastructure, expand the application of international standards in this area, and foster public interest in cycling. Bicycles as environmentally friendly and safe vehicles play a dual role in reducing air pollution and improving mobility within urban environments. Moreover, the Azerbaijan Standards Institute, drawing on international experience, has successfully adopted several international standards to support the development and use of bicycle infrastructure. This includes standards for urban bicycle roads, pedestrian guardrails, bicycle parking facilities, and criteria for bus stops and urban roads. I would like to point for you and our esteemed guests attending COP29 here in Baku. You have the unique opportunity to see this cycling infrastructure firsthand. Modern bicycle lines, convenient parking facilities, and other developments demonstrated Azerbaijan's commitment to sustainable urban mobility. Thank you again for your attention to these important topics. As we have seen, both international and national efforts are pivotal in driving sustainable mobile solutions. With this in mind, I would like to ask you another question.
Please.
Could you tell us about the ASTM International Standards, which support sustainability in eco-friendly vehicles?
Sure. Well, thank you for your questions, and thank you also for this opportunity. And well, I hope that if you find our standards applicable, you can come to us and we can further review your strategy and see how we can support you, because this is something that we do. We talk to our partners and we see what needs they have, as is in your case, electric vehicles. So we will further review and see how we can further help you in this strategy. So consider us our partner in this strategy. Well, to talk about ASTM standards that support eco-friendly vehicle, we support mobility in a different way, in many different ways. Actually, we don't have only one specific committee that addresses eco-friendly vehicles, but we have around 4 or 5 committees. We have more, but the other committees are either recruiting personnel or reviewing their standards to see the applicability on eco-friendly vehicles, which is the case of the committee DO314 on hydrogen and fuel cells. They are evaluating if the hydrogen can be applied to eco-friendly vehicles in this case. The other standards that actually have, the other committees, sorry, that actually have a standard supporting eco-friendly vehicles, we have the Committee on Petroleum and Liquid Fuels. We have the Committee on Engine and Coolants, where we have one subcommittee, which is the subcommittee D1526 on specific electric vehicles.
Yeah, I heard about it.
And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what we do in this committee. We also have the Committee F42 on additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing, for you, if you don't know, or some people may not recognize this new technology, is the application of 3D printing to manufacture components. So this supports our efforts also in many industries, including in support to eco-friendly manufacturing, and many benefits for sure for the climate change efforts. And the other committee that is developing standards supporting eco-friendly vehicles is the Committee F44 on General Aviation Aircraft. To start with the Committee on Petroleum, let me tell you that ASTM has a lot of work and a lot of standards working on sustainable aviation fuel, including biofuels. ASTM has 50 standards that support or talk about the application of biodiesel, and also 60 standards that work on the items related to the use of ethanol of biofuel. With all these applications, we have the test methods and and we can provide, for example, thanks to the committee D7560C, to the standard D7560C, it is a test method that can tell you how much the performance relate to the how the test was resolved. Most of the fuels that actually have good performance in the field, they have passed this test. So you can use this test when you want to test on some different fuels to use in your needs, right? The other committee that we have is the D1526, as I was mentioning. This committee is developed standards that are actually reducing some of the anxieties that we have with eco vehicles, which is the range and the infrastructure to charge. So these standards support the effort so that you can feel more confidence that the vehicle will have longer range and rapid charging system. This is something you can also use in your proposal as well. And talking about the Committee on Additive Manufacturing, by printing the components of the vehicles, we make more efficient vehicles, but also you can reduce the consumption of fuel, because with this technology it is possible to make lighter equipment, lighter components, so that you consume less fuel. Another important use of additive manufacturing is that you can recycle materials that are used to components, but also reuse some components that you may not be needing, to recycle them and create the new components with recycled materials. So it reduces waste, it reduces energy consumption, and a lot of benefits to our climate and proposals that we are promoting, right? The other committee that I want to mention is the Committee on General Aviation Aircraft. The Committee on General Aviation Aircraft has 3 standards actually that you may use. Some of them are related to the propulsion and also to the storage of batteries. If you want to continue and learning, yes, if you want to continue and learning more about our test methods, we have a magazine, which is a journal of test and evaluation, where we are also publishing all the results that we are all the new research. So you will keep ahead on the information and the new technologies and the new discoveries through the research if you apply to those. Well, we can help you to get access to the journal
every month.
Another
ASM journal,
yeah. That is the standardization news, which is another. That is a magazine that talks on many of the topics. When we create, for example, a new committee,
it will be great
or
for us.
to tell you more about the benefits of some of our standards, we share in the standardization magazine. But we also have one journal specific for tests and evaluations.
It will be great for us. And Mr. Escoto, thank you for your comprehensive and insightful response. Your perspective on the role of international standards in sustainable mobility is truly invaluable. At this time, I would like to open the floor for questions from the audience. If you have any question, please feel free for raise to your hand, and I will facilitate the discussion.
Hello, everyone. Mr.
Oh, 1 minute.
Yes, please.
Almost forgot.
Did you hear me?
Yes.
Both, yes. Mr. Escoto, thank you for your insights today. It's really so valuable information about the ASTM and in general about the vehicle issues. So I have 2 questions, if you don't mind. So my first question is about you touching the some part of technical committee which are dealing with electrical vehicles. My question is, this committee also responsive for electrical vehicle charging stations or no? Or you have any separate technical committee for that standards? And the second question is it's about the awareness. How, for example, you aware about the new published ASTM standards? I mean, aware the stakeholders, the people, the folks, and how you involve the stakeholders to the standard development process. Thank you very much. I mean to involve in technical committee process. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Mr. Scott, could you please provide your insight on this?
Sure. For the first question on electric charging, actually through the committee that elaborate on the coolants, with these coolants we support longer range of the performance of the vehicle, so that and also I mentioned it as well that we support on rapid charging as well. So in this committee, a specific D1526, we have these standards that support these efforts. And if you want more information about the standards, we will talk to our partners, Azerbaijan, and we will make sure to provide further information on them. Regarding the involvement of stakeholders in the technical committees, actually, let me tell you that ASTM was highlighted in one report of the Organization for Cooperation and Economic Development because our model of partnership, they mentioned that ASTM is strongly committee lead and react quickly to new emergencies area where new standard is needed. This is thanks to our strong partnership, private and public partnership that we have with all our members. Our members, as I mentioned, we have 33,000 members, and they come from different backgrounds and from 150 countries. All of them provide their technical expertise. Now, if you have some organizations locally that wants to join ASTM International, let me tell you that you are all invited to join our committees. From technical people to even students. Students has, when they are undergraduate, they have even a free membership to join. If a stand has some stakeholder that they want to join, thanks to the MOU program we have, they can join also for free as part of our MOU program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Any questions?
Yes.
One more. No. Where did I put?
What do you need?
My. Oh.
It's
Yeah. Firstly, thank you for such an amazing speech. And could you please tell me to know about do you have any sessions or programs, training programs regarding to these standards?
Yes.
Or
Thank you for your question. Please, Mr. Scott.
Well, we have two or many options for training, actually. There is one training specific on electric vehicles and batteries and coolants that you can take that training. That is an option that is open to everyone, but also for our MOU partners, we have quarterly based trainings which are procedural or technical. I believe you are interested in the technical aspects, so see how easy it is for a stand. Just send me an email and say, we need to learn more on a specific, for example, for batteries, and we will make sure to contact our experts from the technical committees to arrange one meeting where they can develop further explanation about the standard. To cite one very great example of that, this is something we did with Trinidad and Tobago. They wanted to develop the regulations for the ban of single-use plastics, and they needed to learn more about compostability. So we developed a workshop with them. More than 100 people participated in that workshop, and then they were able to adopt their own regulations, but also in the workshop participated people from the region. And they are now also working on adopting the regulations as well, including the regional organization, CARICOM, Regional Standardization Organization and Quality. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Escoto. Any more questions? Please.
Hello again, I'm Shahla from ASTM. Thank you for your valuable speech. And my question is about the old batteries. So you have mentioned in your speech that you are saving old batteries. Do you have any standards or any reuse methods of that old batteries, or in which vehicles are you using that batteries? And also, question about the types of vehicles. Do you have an amount of, for example, 60 or 30, like we have 60 vehicles that we are using our standards on that or not? Thanks.
Thank you. Well, what I mentioned was that the Committee on Aviation Aircraft has for a standard for storage of batteries, because you always need an extra battery to support your way on where you are heading, right? In reusing batteries, I will need to come back to you. Later, on a later point, we can communicate, and I will follow that on that one. And regarding on the type of vehicles or number of vehicles, we have aviation fuels, we have coolant for electric vehicles, so we have a broad range of vehicles as well, not only for one in a specific. Thank you.
So, could you hear me? Okay. I would like to sincerely thank to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Emmanuel Escoto, for sharing his valuable insights and expertise. Really, your contributions have greatly enriched our understanding of the role of standard in sustainable mobility. Thank you for everyone for their attention, for the question and participation. It has been an honor to moderate this session, and I hope you find it insightful and engaging. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.